What's up, party people? It's a beautiful morning, and today I'm here to talk to you about the end of an era. Halloween ends. I had the pleasure of going to see this movie just the other night, and to be quite honest, as someone who has never seen a Halloween film, this movie was thoroughly disappointing. To quote a certain HBO Max show, not great, not terrible. I mean, I really wanted to like this film, and it does manage to keep your interest throughout the entirety of the runtime, but only in the sense of stringing you along in the promise of seeing something that never actually happens. Halloween Ends is, of course, the culmination of what is known as the H4 trilogy, starting with 2018's Halloween soft reboot sequel. But this movie doesn't really go with that premise. This movie starts out well enough, set in the year 2019, a year after the events of the previous film, and it begins with a kid being murdered by his babysitter in an accidental situation, and that sets the tone for the entire movie. Seriously, I expected the first scene to show Michael Myers framing this kid as the murderer, but instead we get this kid dying because he's really just an idiot kid, and that's it. That's the movie. That's the beginning of the movie. So a few years later, Corey is despondent. He's a pariah. He's the new Michael Myers for this movie, basically. I mean, the movie can't decide if there's a new Michael Myers, if it wants to show that Michael Myers is an idea, or some sort of ghost that's infecting the town, which is said in the opening crawl by Laurie's voiceover. But, yeah. Needless to say, Michael Myers does not show up in the film as much as you want him to, given the idea of the premise. Or even the title of the movie. So Corey, the babysitter from the beginning of the film, is confronted by a bunch of local high schoolers. As a result of his pariah status, they bully him, and he ends up meeting with Laurie, who in this film seems pretty happy for somebody who spent the last two movies in some sort of paranoid frenzy, given that Michael was thought dead and then disappeared in both of the previous films. And at first I thought, oh, maybe they're going to go for some sort of kindred spirit relationship with these two. Like, she knows how he's feeling, she's going to help him out, and then they have to team up to fight Michael Myers or something like that. But no, instead she introduces him to her granddaughter, and the two end up in a relationship. Now, again, this guy doesn't seem like the most stable of people to begin with, given his personality throughout the entirety of the film. Like, it is seriously just done in such a way that it made me want to scream in the theater, we are watching a romance movie wrapped in the guise of a Halloween movie. Because that's what we want to see in a Halloween movie. And so, Laurie starts to get suspicious when this guy starts acting like Michael Myers, which certainly wasn't due to the fact that this guy ran to Michael Myers, and maybe Michael possessed him, or did he accept him, or did he apprentice him? Was there something occultish, or did Michael see this kid as a kindred spirit? Like, you can't even tell what happens, and the movie can't decide what happens there either. But in the end, this kid just ends up going on a rampage to everybody who's been rude to him for the entire film, and he also kills a doctor and a nurse, and that's the problem with this film. I cannot count how many bodies Michael Myers has accumulated over the course of the series, but in this film, he only ever actually manages to kill one person. One. He does help with 2 other kills, but he straight up only murders one person. Everybody else is murdered by Michael Jr. And just like Batman vs. Superman, this film's marketing hyped up its core idea, but the whole thing happens in the last 20 minutes, and there's absolutely no build-up to it, because the entire movie revolves around the B-plot that is Laurie's granddaughter's romance with the new Michael Myers. And so, to conclude it all, Halloween Ends is a fairly okay film that just disappoints you with its marketing and overall plot not living up to the idea of a Laurie and Michael Myers showdown to end the franchise. So I am so glad that Halloween Ends has officially closed its chapter on Michael Myers, simply because if this was the route they're going for, then it's a good thing it ended before it continues. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button and I'll see you later.